Hi, this is Craig, and this is another video. This is the second in my Cycles to Consciousness series, of which there will be six. This is number two. The first one is The Great Distraction, that's already out on the channel. This one is The Great Separation. So, who are we? Who am I? Who are you? Now, this is a very profound question, and it's difficult to find a true answer. So when you think about it for a moment, who am I? Your response might be, well, I am Craig. But then you sort of think about it and you think, well, Craig for me was a name that was given to me. So it's not really me, it's just been assigned to me. So I'm not Craig, other than that's my name. So then you think, who am I? And you think, well, I'm a mindfulness practitioner. I work with people. But then I realized that this is just a profession, this is just a career. It's not really who I am. So who am I? And you might think, well, I'm a husband, I'm a male, I'm a brother, I'm a son. All of these things apply to me. But again, they're just labels. They're just like names assigned to family members. It's not really who I am. So then you think, well, who am I? And you see this can go on for quite a while. You then start to think, well, maybe I'm my personality. I am happy. I am glad. Uh, I am funny. I am calm. I am peaceful. But these are just passing emotions and passing phases. They're not really who you are. And then you sometimes think, well, I am disabled, or I am with a condition, or I am something. And it's always the answer to all these things is always I am something. I am this or I am that. But when you really look at it, the I am this and I am that changes. It changes. I used to be a boy. I'm no longer a boy. Time has changed that. I am Craig, but I could very well change my name if I wanted to. Things change. And as things change, the I am this and I am that changes with it. So, really, who am I? And it's a really profound question. And when you meditate and you start to practice mindful awareness, and you start to be more in your awareness, you realize that all the thoughts of I am this and I am that are just thoughts. They come and go and they change. So those thoughts can't actually be me. Um, Even when I say I'm this, I might believe it. You know, I'm a human on planet Earth. This is still thinking that I'm a human on planet Earth. Um, and a lot of our thoughts come from our past. They come from conditioning and they come from rules and hand me downs by our past people and ancestors and family. Um, and we also create opposites in our mind. So I could say I'm happy, but I'm only happy for a short period of time and then something else comes along, you see. But as soon as I say I'm happy, you've automatically created sadness. I am happy and I am sad because there's always an opposite to what you create. So I am happy, I am sad. If you say I am good, it means in that moment you're not bad. If you say I'm bad, then you're creating good as well. You can't have good without bad. You can't have happy without sad. You can't have left without right. You can't have up without down. These are thoughts. I am up. So what am I trying to get to here with all of this? Um, so basically, when you're thinking, you're in, as I've said in previous videos, you're in a duality of two. It's I am and something. I am happy is two. There's happiness and there's you. I am. The I am this is creating what's called a separation, a separate self. Only with awareness and with mindful practice and with meditating, you realize that the separate self is just in your mind. There is no real separate self. Only you say, I am separate. I am Craig. I am this. I am not that. I am happy, but I'm not that. And this is what is called the Great Separation. And it's a big illusion, and it's one of the biggest illusions that we have on the planet. And it causes a lot of problems. It causes a lot of angry war and confrontation with others. We're comparing ourselves to others. I'm not happy. That person's happy. Can I not be happier? Can I not be like them? You get comparisons. But in the real world, there are no comparisons, really. And if you look at trees, I like looking at trees. If you look at a tree, does the tree look at the other tree and say, I want to be as tall as you? I want all your leaves. I haven't got any leaves yet, and you're budding. I want to be budding. Nature doesn't compare. Nature doesn't seem to have this mind that is thinking it's separate, you see. And so, are leaves on a tree separate to the tree? Are flowers that grow separate from the earth? And although physically forms can be different, it all comes from the same source. There's an interconnectedness and there's a interbeing with everything. Without everything else, the flower cannot exist. Without everything else, the tree cannot exist. Without everything else, we can't exist. And so the flower, for example, needs soil, but it also needs rain, it also needs sunlight, it also needs the seed, it also needs to grow. It also needs love, if you like. It needs attention, it needs the warm sun to shine on it for it to flourish. Without all those things, no flower. The same for us. If we're not having sun, if we're not having rain, if we're not eating, if we're not drinking, we're not going to be here. We need air to breathe. If not for the air and the atmosphere and the earth, we wouldn't be here. So I can't be separate from those things. Those things are in me. I'm breathing air. Air is in me. Breathing out carbon dioxide. It's going into the atmosphere. There's a connection. Everything interweaves with itself. So in that way, looking at that way in life, you kind of see that I can't really be separate, even though my mind is saying I'm separate. So the great separation is causing a lot of problems. And so this video is here to kind of just explore it a little bit. Most of our problems come from this sense of self. As I say, we compare with others. We have ownership of things. This is my stuff. That's your stuff. This is my land. That's your land. And it can cause a lot of friction, a lot of confrontation. And as I say, nature doesn't do this. A dandelion can fly and land on someone's property in the back garden and it will grow. It's not there going, oh, I'm trespassing, or I'm worried that I'm in the wrong place. The wrong place, there's a right place. So our mind creates duality, opposites. And the more we build on what we want, we are letting go of what we don't want. But that stuff is still here. Everything is all connected and one. So when you're being, there is what's called non-duality, where you're not thinking about something, you're not thinking you're separate to the whole, you're in the interconnectedness. Breathing is happening as you breathe. Sounds are happening as you listen. But you are not listener. You're not the listener of it. It's happening spontaneously in the same moment. So non-duality really means now, really means here. Duality is thinking about future or past and isn't really here, and is comparing and thinking you're separate and all of this stuff. So we need to practice to be more kind and compassionate to each other, because we are actually all from the same thing. You could say awareness, which is always here, the oneness, awareness is always present. When you go into being, there's awareness. And awareness is not judgmental, it doesn't compare, it doesn't say, I'm better than your awareness, I'm more aware than you, I meditate more than you, therefore I'm better. That's all ego, that's all duality, that's all comparison. True universal law, true beingness, there isn't any of that. There is just a moment and what happens in each moment. The flower is blooming or it's not. The tree is dropping its leaves or it's not. You're feeling this or you're not. That is it. This is it. Life is actually non-dualistic in nature, but we think we're separate. Therefore, it takes a bit of practice and a bit of work to unravel that and to realize that we're part of everything. And then we look after things better. If we know that the air we breathe is coming from plants, and if we truly understand that, we'll help plants, we'll feed plants, we'll look after plants. We won't just decimate them. Life can be this wonderful, calm, kind, happy place. It's meant to be a peaceful place where forms are just changing into other forms. Energy just moves into other energy. Rain becomes earth, goes into the soil, it feeds a flower. Rain becomes a flower. Your food, when you eat it, becomes energy for you, it becomes sustenance. It helps you move. There's all these movements happening all the time. And it's all happening. We don't have to think about those things, it just happens. So, but knowing that everything is part of the whole can help us be more kinder and more compassionate. So when you're comparing yourself to somebody else and you're wanting what they want, or you're wishing they didn't do something, you're in this duality. You're thinking you're separate to that person. And that if you change their behavior or you left them or something, then you'd feel better. But actually, being kind to this person is being kind to yourself. Being compassionate is being kind to everything because you are part of everything. So this is a good thing to explore. And then you come back to the who am I? Who am I? And you kind of realize after a while that you're not your thoughts, you're not this mind. There's something beyond mind. And when you sit and meditate, you start to tap into that. And you can call it many names: isness, formlessness, emptiness, non-duality, awareness, timeless awareness. But there's this moment when you meditate where you lose the person, you lose the identity, you lose the separation, and you become one with awareness. There is an awareness of itself, and it's called being. So I invite you just now just to be. Just let go of all the identity and all the thoughts. If you can, they'll be coming and going like crazy. You can take a breath. Just come into your being and you'll begin to sense awareness. And the longer that you're in your being for, the awareness seems to become. You become awareness. So, really, you are timeless awareness. You're not this separate person who needs this and needs that and is this and is that. These things are transitory, they come and they go. Your true self is always present, is always the presence, the emptiness, the formlessness behind. Um, and so I've kind of put here a sort of picture of sort of fog mist. And this is kind of like the formless becoming form. You know, things are always changing all the time. Clouds form, pour rain, the cloud disappears, but the cloud is still there in the rain. The energy never goes, it just changes shape. But awareness is always there, always with everything. And this can be profound when you start to delve into this. You start to realize that I don't need to compare. I don't need to fight. I don't need to have a happy place. I can just be. I can just be wherever I am. I can embrace everything that happens. I can just allow what's happening to happen. I don't have to try and fix or change it too much. I don't have to strive. I just need to come back to myself. I just need to breathe. I just need to be. And there you are. You're here. And this place, this awareness, is so peaceful. It's so calming. It's so healing for you and your body. It's healing for everything else because you're starting to grow this compassion. You're tending to your plants, you know, you're tending to your life. You understand that when you're feeling annoyed, that's in the field of consciousness. You understand that if you're joyful, that's also in the field of consciousness. There is no separation. So if we can practice kindness and compassion and love, the world will change. But if we're constantly thinking we're separate and we're fighting other people, we're not going to get anywhere. It's just going to keep refueling the problem. So I hope this has been an interesting video. I've wanted to do this one for a while. It's quite a difficult subject for the mind to comprehend, and I'm still exploring. I'm not saying that I know everything. In fact, when I let go of thoughts, that's when it happens. So my interpretation or analysis of it, don't worry about it too much, but just be. If you're being, you'll feel it. And it's so good for you and it helps with everything. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again another time. Bye just now.